Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I'll be bringing you guys my official Week 12 game preview between the Cowboys and the Commanders. You guys know how these videos work. I'll start off by giving you guys the final injury report for this week. I'll then give you guys my keys to victory for both the offense and defensive side of the ball. And then finally, I'll give you guys my score prediction at the end of the video. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Moving on to the injury report, we're going to start with ours, of course. Marshon Lattimore, he's out, which is not a surprise. If you've been following, you know what DQ has said about him this week. He wasn't going to play, right? Didn't practice all week long. If I had to guess, they're probably going to bring him back next week or after the bye week. And after the bye week, our first game after the bye would be against the Saints in week 15. So that's when he'll probably come back, or next week versus the Titans. So, you know, we'll see with Lattimore, but he will not be playing this week versus the Cowboys. Questionable, Nick Bellore, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, Austin Seibert. Bellore, Baptiste, and Seibert were all full participants today. I think Bellore and Seibert are going to play. DQ said in today's press conference that Seibert did feel good. The hip injury has been, you know, trending well, and he should be playing on Sunday. The arrow is in that direction right now. As for Bellore, I expect him to play as well. Didn't practice on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, full participant today. I think he's going to play on Sunday. And then as for Baptiste, he's practiced all week. However, tomorrow is when they have to make a decision on whether or not to activate him on IR or off of IR. If they do not activate him off of IR, then he will probably have to wait another week or two. If they do, however, then he's going to be playing for Sunday. So, you know, we'll see if he plays or if they activate him off of IR tomorrow. But if they do, then he's probably going to play on Sunday. And then as for the guys that were full participants today, you have Dorrance Armstrong, Brandon Coleman, Dante Fowler Jr., Noah Igbenogany, Ben Sinnott, and Jordan McGee. They're all good to go, as well as Cleveland Farrell, who was a limited participant today. However, he's good to go as well. As for the Cowboys, Marquise Bell, Jake Ferguson, they've already been ruled out. Zach Martin didn't practice all week. He is doubtful. So he's not out yet. However, he's doubtful. And usually when you're doubtful, it's literally that. You're doubtful. You're probably not going to be playing on game day. So we'll see with Zach Martin. Maybe they elevate him from doubtful to questionable tomorrow. However, right now, it's looking like he's not going to play on Sunday versus us. As for the guys that are questionable, Brandon Cooks, Trayvon Diggs, Marshon Nealon, and Tyler Smith. I think all the guys that are questionable, besides, you could say, Marshon Nealon and Brandon Cooks, because those two guys are still on IR. Their window was open this week, but the Cowboys have to decide whether or not to actually activate them off of IR tomorrow. And if they do, they will be playing on Sunday. If not, then they'll have to wait another week or two. So we'll see with those guys. But Trayvon Diggs, he's going to play. Tyler Smith didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. He was limited today, however, and he's questionable. If I had to guess, I think he's going to play. But you never know. Maybe he suffers a minor setback tomorrow, or maybe they just want to practice him today. And if the practice went well, then they are going to play him on Sunday. If not, then they probably won't. But Tyler Smith is definitely a guy to monitor on whether or not he will be playing versus us on Sunday. And then for the rest of the guys on here, Nick Vigil, he is questionable. He didn't practice all week, so I doubt he plays. And then everybody else, Deron Bland, Tyler Guyton, CeeDee Lamb, Hunter Luepke, Jordan Lewis, and Eric Hendricks, they are all good to go. Moving on to keys to victory. Key to victory number one for the offense. Get back to business. And what I mean by that is get back to looking like what you looked like week 3 versus the Bengals to week 9 versus the Giants. These past 2 weeks, our offense has struggled. They have. And part of that has been due to us seeing better defenses, obviously, in the Steelers defense and to the Eagles defense that has been playing really well this season. They've really improved under Vic Fangio as their defensive coordinator. But we got to play better offense. Like, we have to. We got to get back to doing what we've been doing, because we are a top 5 or at the very least top 10 offense in the NFL. These past 2 weeks, we really haven't been looking like that. I mean, versus the Steelers, we still put up 27 points, and we could have put up more, but we had missed opportunities. We had mistakes, which we're going to talk about later. But versus the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, our offense just wasn't great. at all, really. Jaden was off. Cliff wasn't calling his best plays. That was definitely his worst game, play calling wise, of the year. And Jaden, his worst performance of the year as well. So I want to see those two guys getting back to business. And, with our whole offense, but especially Jaden, obviously the rib injury. And I think the injury really isn't there anymore. However, there may be some lingering effects to it. Maybe he's still in some pain, maybe hurting a little bit. But he just has to play better, right? He has to play better. And I think he will play better. These 10 days gave him and the rest of the offense to mentally and physically refresh, get away from football a little bit, get some treatment done, more rest, all that good stuff, so that 10 days later when you play Dallas, you're fully charged, fully recharged, and you're ready to go right out of the gate. So I really hope to see that on Sunday, man. And I think we will. Like, this Dallas team just isn't good this year, and they're on a short week. They have 6 days to prepare for us. We had 10 days, so I have a good feeling about Sunday's game, man. I feel like Sunday's game is the game where our offense can get back to business, and that is very important. So that's why I have it as my number one key to victory for the offense, and that is getting back to business. Key to victory number 2, establish a run game early and often. The Cowboys are horrendous at stopping the run, as they are giving up 151 yards a game, which is 31st in the league. And it's kind of funny because we're 30th in giving up rushing yards a game. We're giving up 150 and a half a game. So, it's pretty bad. Both teams are pretty bad at stopping the run, but the Cowboys are really bad at stopping the run. And we got to establish a run game versus the Eagles. We got somewhat of a run game going, especially in the first half with B-Rob. Man, it was really good to have B-Rob. He had a touchdown last week. I think he had 16 carries for 63 yards, just under 4 yards a carry, and obviously the touchdown. But you could feel his physical presence, man. It was really good to have him back. And I think this could be a game where he goes for over 100 yards. I really do think so. He has 2 on the season, one versus the Giants, the other versus the Cardinals. So he could go for 100 versus the Cowboys, Joe Mixon. And B-Rob isn't like Joe Mixon. None of our running backs are like Joe Mixon. Eckler, McNichols, none of them. However, I still feel like B-Rob can go for 100 yards versus the Cowboys on the ground on Sunday. Feel like he's very capable of doing so. I think Eckler could have a nice day as well as Jeremy McNichols. And Jaden's legs are starting to become more of a factor. We saw versus the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Although ineffective for the most part, we did see some design runs with him, like up the middle, and some QB draws. So we could do that, right? With Jaden's legs, his legs are starting to come back into the mix. So with us playing a very weak Dallas run defense, we could use Jaden's legs more and more on Sunday, and obviously get our running backs going as well. Key to victory number 3 for the offense: protect Jaden and avoid turning the ball over. The Cowboys aren't amazing at getting to the quarterback. However, they may be getting Marshon back. DeMarvion Overshown is a demon at linebacker. That's really their Frankie Louvu, although Louvu's better than Overshown. But Overshown is still really good at getting to the quarterback. He's really good at getting to the quarterback on blitzes especially. So, got to watch out for him. And obviously, Micah Parsons. Now, I think that since we did a good job versus TJ Watt and versus Myles Garrett, did a good job of doubling those two and chipping them, I don't have too much of a doubt that we'll do a good job of containing Micah Parsons off the edge. Their other edge rushers, DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't think he's done much this year. Their interior defensive line is pretty stinky. Motsy Smith has been awful, man. He is a whole bust, man. Like, he's been really bad. I think they have another defensive tackle, Osa Odigizua. I don't know how well he's done this year. But, yeah, their D-line just overall isn't amazing. They haven't been elite at getting to the quarterback this year. So, we have to protect Jaden, though, right? Because they still have DeMarvion Overshown. They still have Micah Parsons. Got to do a good job of protecting Jaden. Have allowed 3 sacks over the past 2 games each. So we cannot have that, right? We can't. And then protecting the ball. We've done a really good job of protecting the ball all year long. Obviously, Jaden had the interception on Thursday night, which was just our 4th turnover on the year as an offense, which is just absolutely incredible. But we don't want to have a turnover at all, right? So we have to do a good job of protecting the ball in this game. Obviously, DeRon Bland, he's coming back. He's making his season debut. He is a ball hawk, so got to watch out for him. Trayvon Diggs, he can snag an interception or two. And they have other playmakers back there as well. Malik Hooker. So, we got to be careful of those guys, and we have to do a good job of protecting the ball. Moving on to the defense, and honestly, it was kind of, I wouldn't say hard, but, we're playing the Cowboys. They have been having an awful year, and I feel like the game plan for the defense should be relatively simple. So let's start with key to victory number 1. Let's stop the run. The Cowboys are awful at running the ball. They have the worst running back core in the NFL. They are averaging 81.7 yards a game on the ground. That is horrendous, man. Like, that is terrible. Their running backs are Ezekiel Elliott and Rico Dowdle. Like, I don't know if they have another guy behind them. I don't know, but their run game is just horrendous, right? So we can't let up rushing yards, and our run defense hasn't been the best either. Versus Saquon Barkley last week versus the Eagles, we let up 200 yards on him. Now, granted, most of those 200 yards were late in the game in the 4th quarter when our defense was tired, but we still let up 200 yards on him, right? I don't think we should let up too many big gains or any big gains at all, really. We should do a good job of containing Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott if he gets any playing time. Key to victory number 2, let's get pressure on Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, he's going to make a mistake or two, right? He made multiple mistakes versus the Texans on Monday Night Football. He almost had like 4 or 5 interceptions. Luckily, the Texans only caught 2 of them, I'm pretty sure. So he is very prone to turning the ball over, right? He's going to give you several opportunities to get a turnover or two on him. Got to take advantage of those opportunities, man. We have to. And if we do that, we'll have a really good chance of winning this game. I still think, like, the chance of us losing this game is so low that I'm not even thinking of, if we lose this game, then what, right? I really do think that we're going to win this game, and I'll get to my score prediction soon. But, yeah, we got to get pressure on Cooper Rush, obviously. We have former Cowboys on our defense. Noah Igbenogany, Dorrance Armstrong, and Dante Fowler Jr. Armstrong hasn't done much since suffering that injury versus the Ravens. Hopefully we can see him get back to doing what he was doing before the injury versus the Cowboys. And then Dante Fowler Jr., he has been awesome for us all season long. Hopefully he can make an impact on Sunday. And then my final key to victory, ball is life. And like I mentioned a minute ago, Cooper Rush will give you at least 2 opportunities to get a turnover off him. And we have to take advantage of those opportunities. I really want to see Mikey Sanders still get an interception this week. I'm not going to lie. Hasn't had one since the Ravens game, which was his first interception of the season. Obviously, his first interception of his career. So it would be nice to see him get an interception. He has been playing very, very well over the past couple of weeks, especially versus the Eagles on Thursday Night Football when he pretty much locked down all 3 of the Eagles' top receivers in Jahan Dotson, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown. So Sanders still has been balling lately. Would be cool to see Noah Igbenogany get an interception versus his former team, although he was only with Dallas for last year. Still would be kind of cool. Maybe Dante Fowler can snag another interception some way, somehow. We'll see. Maybe Benjamin St. Juste can snag one. Maybe Quan Martin, Jeremy Chin, whoever snags an interception. I really want to see an interception this week, or just a turnover in general. It doesn't have to be an interception. It can be a fumble, whatever it is. I just want a turnover or two, and we've done a really good job of forcing turnovers over the past month and a half, really. So let's continue that trend on Sunday versus Dallas. And then as for my final score prediction, I have us winning this game 30-13, and honestly, we can win by way more. However, just going to set, the little baseline at 30-13, and it could be closer. However, this is a team that I want to blow out. Obviously, it's the Cowboys, so I always want to beat them by as many points as we can, but we're just the better team. This is a game that we should win. This is a game where I'm not going to call this game a get right game because we're already right. Like, I feel like this is just a get back right game, right? Get back to doing what you were doing before the 2 losses versus the Steelers and the Eagles. And this is especially, pertaining to the offense, right? Somewhat the defense as well, but I'm directly looking at the offense for the most part, really. Get back to doing what you're doing. Get back to business. And I feel like this is the perfect week to get back to business. I think Jaden is going to look amazing this week. I think Jaden's going to look really good this week. I would not be surprised if he had 3, maybe even 4 touchdowns this week. I think Cliff is going to get back into his bag. I think our defense is going to do a good job of getting pressure on Cooper Rush. They're going to get a turnover or 2 on him. I am really confident about that. We're going to get to him. Obviously, like I said, we're going to get a couple sacks on him. I think Dante Fowler Jr. will get 2 sacks. I think he will reach double-digit sacks after Sunday's game. But, we'll see. But, yeah, overall, man, this is a game we should win once again. And I have us winning by a good amount of points, 30-13. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Comment down below your score prediction and who you guys have winning Sunday's game. And other than that, it's me, King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.